this for Monday morning. Probably won't do that again. We've got almost 50 people registered, and you see who you guys are you're the true champions of the week, getting up early Monday and making it in here. So congratulations to you. And I suspect we'll have some more folks wander in over the next half hour or so. But want to get started to try to respect your time frames and try to finish up on time. So this event is a little bit different for the Housing Coalition. The Housing Coalition mostly does things that are just about housing. And we have determined that strategy is not necessarily always the best way for us to build a strong coalition. If you are, and I know some of you are housing people and some of you are not, if you're a housing person, you know that when we went to the General Assembly last year in our annual pilgrimage for a housing trust fund for the state, we started to make a little progress, and then we're eventually we died as usual as roadkill in House Appropriations Committee. But something dropped out of the sky, which was the National Mortgage Settlement money. And Virginia was a state that received, as all states did, or as 49 states did, a share of the National Mortgage Settlement. And the General Assembly had $65 million that was dropped in their laps, for which the Attorney General said, well, you can use this for anything, but you probably should use it for housing. They took that advice and used it for anything. With some of your help, we launched a pretty fierce campaign for about 6 weeks, and we managed to salvage about 10% of that money going for housing. So, so one of the things we concluded from that is we need to get stronger in terms of our advocacy, and one of the ways to do that is to build partnerships with other coalitions that are working in human services, in healthcare, and environmentalism, and in a whole range in poverty, a whole range of causes that are connected to what we do in housing. So that's a part of what we're doing today, is reaching out to other folks who work in other arenas and seeing how we find common ground. And one of those areas is around the state budget. If you got our advertising on this session, what we said was, last session we heard, as usual, we're in a state budget crisis. We can't possibly put money into housing. Even though we got $65 million that should go for housing, we can only afford to put $7 million because we've got so many holes in the budget. And then about 6 weeks later, Governor McDonnell announced a $450 million budget surplus from the previous year. So we all scratched our heads, and many of you around the state scratched your heads, and we thought, what is going on here? Why is it that if we're running a surplus in the budget, we can't come up with a little bit of money for affordable housing to meet these desperate needs that we see around the state? So today, we're hopefully going to do a little education around that and help you to understand how the state budget works and help you to become a better educated advocate. And so when you talk to your elected officials, you have a grounding in what's really going on. And when you hear something from them, you're going to be in a position to say something back to them about what you've learned about how the state budget works. So that's all I'm going to say, and I want to